No, it's not. It's not on. Okay. Torah Parshas Mishpatim, page 150, second column. Okay, we finished. It's basically like all part of one mimer, but it's separate. Okay, bottom line is the pasuk is explaining, and now the Alter Rebbe is going to elaborate more on that aspect of Kisikna. Ela Mishpatim Meshatasim Lefneihem. The Alter Rebbe basically explains Mishpatim is a level of Hilchasa, which is Torah. Through the level of Mishpatim, which is Torah, Asher Tosim Lefneihem, the Moshe Rabbeinu puts into the Panemius. In other words, what internalizes this a level of Halicha and all that, that's the way the Eibishter comes into. Now, who does that? That's who Moshe Rabbeinu. Because Moshe Rabbeinu, one second, in order to be Mamshech Das in Zera Behema or into the Malachim, so the bottom line is that he's Mamshech the level of Das. Now, why can Moshe Rabbeinu bring the level of Das into Zera Behema if he's limited as Zera Adam? So the answer is because Moshe Rabbeinu is above both. And because he's above both, he's able to bring down that level. Okay, that's just at the end. Amshachat Das, which is Moshe Rabbeinu, which is even higher than the Neshamas of Zera Adam. Okay, then the pasuk says, Ki sikna eved ivri. Okay, so if you buy a eved ivri, so he says, sometimes it says, Kainei Shemayim Va'aretz. Sometimes it says Hashem, Kainei doesn't mean acquired, it also means actually created. Kainei HaKol, when we say Shmoneh, Kainei HaKol over there means he created everything. So he says, sometimes it says Kainei Shemayim Va'aretz. Another pasuk says Kainei HaKol. Another says Beirei Shemayim Va'aretz. Another pasuk says Beirei HaKol. So the question is, did he create Shemayim Va'aretz or did he create everything? One pasuk says Kainei HaKol or Kainei Shemayim Va'aretz, and one says Beirei HaKol, and one pasuk says Beirei Shemayim Va'aretz. There's a level of Elokus which is called the chain of the worlds. Me'ila le'ila, cause to cause to effect.
Rabbi, what's the difference between Kone and the Bore?
Basically the same thing, but it's a different term. Beirei is when it becomes a separate entity. Kainei, I'll give you an example. If I create something, it's different than it was before I created it.
Correct.
But if I acquire something from you, the object doesn't change. The ownership changed.
Right.
So when you say Kainei HaKol, it's a kinyan, means the object doesn't change. It doesn't become yesh me'ayin like Beirei. So he says, and there's a level which is higher than world. The Alter Rebbe is explaining, in fact, exactly what you asked. What's the difference between the expression of Beirei and Kainei? So he says there's a level of Ishtalshus, the chain of the world in a limited form. Then you have the level higher than Ishtalshus. And he said, this is the difference between Beirei and Kainei. Beirei is Savis Yashmiyayim. Okay, Beirei is a level of higher than world, which is L'maylamit Derech Seder Ishtalshus. Okay, because what does Yashmiyayim mean? The definition of Bria we learned many times. The Ramban says in Chumash, when it says Bereshit Bara Elokim, the Ramban at the beginning of Chumash says the word Bara in Hebrew is only referring to Yashmiyayim, something from nothing. Now when you talk about something from nothing, that means there's no comparison between the something and the nothing. Because if there would be a comparison, you'd say something from something.
Right.
So he says, Beirei is Savis Yashmiyai, which is completely higher than world. There's no connection between the world and the Creator. Vimkain is Savis Hanivra. Is Chachis Yashmiyayin. It's the creation of something brand new, and that's the level of Beirei. So when you say Hashem is Beirei, He creates Yesh Mi'ayin. Thank you. He creates Yesh Mi'ayin, which is the level higher than world. Thank you. Then you have a second level. cause and effect. You know, chalchem and tabin and tadas and so on. That's called kaina. Why? Shakinyan ein avayis davar chodosh. Kinyan, like we just said, acquiring something doesn't change anything. All it is, yitzia meshus hamecher l'reshus elakeh. It leads from the buyer to the seller. Shemetchila isas chaydo menachas bekuf se'etzel hamecher. Initially, it's in a box by the seller. So it comes the same thing when you have cause and effect. It's not considered something new because to create something new, which is yesh miyayin, only Hashem can do. Only Hashem can create opposites. Ayin to yesh from ayin, only Hashem can do. Because in effect, it's only revealing something which is already there. The seller had it in a box hidden, and now he takes it out and gives it to the buyer.
It's the same thing.
Huh?
It's the same thing.
Yeah, the same object, except before it was hidden to the buyer, and now it's revealed to the buyer. Or it wasn't the buyer, now it's his. That's what we say in davening. Koine hakol, meaning he created everything. To revealed from the concealed to the revealed. After it already exists, shayach kinyan, you can say, you could acquire it. In very simple English, before you manufacture the thing, you can't say I acquired it. There's nothing to acquire. Once it exists, then you can acquire it. So before it's yesh miyayin, creating yesh miyayin, it doesn't exist. You can't say the expression kinyan. Kinyan means there's something existing, but it was by you, and now it's by me.
Rabbi, when there is an exchange, somebody gives to get something. How are we giving?
Huh?
To do an exchange, to do a kinyan, somebody has
Right.
to give something in exchange. What are we giving to get?
Torah mitzvahs.
Giving to our mitzvah?
We're doing Torah mitzvahs. That's what we give Hashem.
To entitle ourselves to.
Not to entitle ourselves, because no matter what we do, we really don't deserve anyway. So here now the Rebbe is explaining that Berdi is higher than Kinyan. Even though in Kiddush Levana, when you say Baruch Kainech, Baruch Yetzach Eisech, which is the Dalet Eilis, Kinyan usually refers to the level of Atzilus. Because Atzilus is still Elokus. It didn't change. So normally in Chassidus it explains, it's not a contradiction to this, because you know the way it goes. But Kinyan normally refers to Atzilus, because Atzilus is not Yesh Mi'ayin like Bria. Atzilus is the same thing. But here the Alter Rebbe is saying that Beirech is a higher level than Koinech. Beirech is creating Yesh Mi'ayin, and Koinech is Gili Ahalim. Well, let's see what he says.
I think correct, Bore and
Koneh.
Akon.
By that, now we can understand what the pasuk says. Kisikna. What does it mean? Kisikna. Why are they called Eved Ivri? Why are Jews called Ivrim? So the pasuk says, but Rashi explains it in the Chumash, because we come Me'ever Hanor Yoshua V'Seichem. Why are we called Ivri? Ivri means Eved, the other side. So he said, because Eva and Noah, Yoshua Sechem, the Jews came from the other, the forefathers came from the other side. So he said, now we can understand what it means. Kisikna, Hinik, Be'eva and Noah, Yoshua Sechem. Nahar, what Nahar are we referring to? Nahar, Yaintzim Eden, the Nahar that comes out of Eden. Like it says, Subachinas Bina, Datzila, Shanim, Shechlis, Labish, Bebriya. From Bina of Atzilus, it starts coming into Bria. And that's where the period starts. Okay? So it says like this. There's a level of Eden. Eden refers to Tainug, the essence of Hashem. Eden.
Eden.
V'nohar yoytze me'Eden lahashkes hagan. Right? What does the pasuk say at the beginning of Chumash? The river went out of Eden to water the Gan. And then it says, Umisham yipared. There it becomes separations. V'hoyel arba rosh, and it became 4 channels of river, right? Tributaries, whatever you want to call them. So Chassidus explains like this. Nahar yoytze me'Eden. Nahar is the level of Bina. Bina Vatzilus. Now, what does it do? It leaves Eden, which is higher, lahashkis sagan, to water the level of Gan, which you hear it's talking about the world of Bria. When Misham Yipad, in that level, then it starts becoming Pirud, separation. But what does it say about, so Eved HaNod, Nod is the level of Bina Vatzilus. Now we say Eved HaNod, the other side, higher than Nahar, not lower than Nahar, higher than Nahar, that refers to Mashalamayla B'chinas Bina V'Seichel HaMusag Sham Yashvu Hushravis. Okay, so in other words, that refers to the ultimate level of Elokus. Chilak Elokam Imal. 1 second. Merak Mashayod on Neshamas Acher Kach, then the Neshamas come down to the extent it could be called Zera Be'ema. But Zehu Rak Hanitza Tanimshach Lamata, the Nitza, the spark of the Neshama that comes into the body, then you could say that Avol Shorshim Ukede, I feel a babe and Anor. Shisham Lamayla Mishtaushis, which is higher than Mishtaushis. Over there, Adam and Behema Shavin. Over there, highest and lowest are the same. In Eden, everything is the same. Now you have Nahar Yotzim Eden, the level of Bina Vatzilus. Now Bina Vatzilus shines in Bria, we know. Like you said before, which is Bina that comes into Bria. Chochma Vatzilus is Meir in Atzilus. Yema Ilah, Bina, Mekanna Bekursaya shines in Bria. Then the Midas in Yitzira and Malchus in Nasiya. So where does the beginning of Pirud begin? In that level of Elokus. In other words, where is there a difference between Zera Behem and Zera Adam? That's only in the way it comes into the worlds. But in the level and the source, Zera Adam, Zera Behem are the same thing because there is no higher and lower. So that's what he's saying. Ki siknu. 1 second. Avol Shorshim Ukede, I feel Beva Anor Lamamish Sham Adam Behem Shavu Shavu Mashvu Katan God. Higher and lower are equal. Therefore, in order to bring down das, right? You could say, you only need the level of kinyan, which is which is only bringing down from Helam to revealed laham shel mishoshin shumei ben anor shesham yesh laham das gadol me'ed. Because over there in that level, every Jew, in other words, like this, Be'ever anar yarden yardo yeshva v'seichen. Ever anar refers to the highest levels of Elokus. Sham yashva v'seichen, that's where all the neshamas originate from. All the neshamas originate from Ever anar. 1 second. On the other side, and that means higher than Nar, which is higher than Bina Vatzilus. In Atzilus, you have Zera Adam, and in Bria, Zera Behema. But that's the way it already comes into worlds. Atzilus is Zera Adam, like he explained before, and in Bria, Zera Behema. But in the source, Ever Anar Yoshua V'Seichem, over there everybody's equal. There is no Zera Adam and Zera Behema. Therefore, in order to reveal Das in the Zera Behema, all you have to do is reveal its source. In other words, it's not something new that didn't exist.
Right.
It always existed. Like by a Yid, you come to a Yid. The essence of the Jew, the Pinta Yid, the Nukad Sayyad, the Yechidush of Nefesh, is always perfect. But it's hidden. You come to a Jew to reveal his essence, who he really is. Like the Rebbe says, no Jew is ever far, because he has the neshama. You have to reveal that by some people it's revealed more, by some people it's revealed less. Our job is to reveal something that exists. You don't have to create Yiddishkeit in a Jew. All you have to do is reveal it.
What about the non-Jews?
We have enough problems with the Jews. We finish with the Jews, we go to the non-Jews. Shesham yeshlam das godel mei rakshas and nelim lagami, all it is concealed. And therefore he says, and that's what it says, ki sikna eved ivri. So therefore the pasuk here is saying ki sikna eved ivri, and he said, B'zeh b'nokol Yosef, this is much easier, if you'd have to create something new. In other words, like this. Every Jew, really, in essence, is Zera Adam. Yechidah Shemenefesh, we said, B'mei Rabbeinu, and the simplest Jew are the same. In the essence, Yechidah Shemenefesh is the same. B'mei Rabbeinu, the Yechidah Shemenefesh is revealed. By other people, it's not. By some people, it's revealed more, some people revealed less, some people it's covered with mud. So the Avodah is not to create something new. What Moshe Rabbeinu has to do is kisikna eved ivri. Moshe, because the Jew is a level of ivri, because the Jew is me'ever hano yosher seichem. So what Moshe Rabbeinu has to do is kisikna. Again, what does acquisition mean? The thing already exists, but it's hidden by the seller, and now it has to be revealed to the buyer. Yeah? So that's the way the Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Rabbeinu does by being mamshich das in Zera Behema. Yes, he has to be higher than both, because how could he do it? If he's only a Zera Adam Neshama, how can he reveal it in Zera Behema? So Moshe Rabbeinu is higher than, but all he has to do is reveal it. Okay, then the pasuk continues, Shei Shanim Yaveh, the Eved has to work 6 years, right? And then the 7th year he goes out free. Pirush, Aidei Amshachas Hadas, by Moshe Rabbeinu Kisik Ne Eved Ivri, by Moshe Rabbeinu revealing the Lekena, Eved Ivri. Moshe Rabbeinu is revealing the level of Das in every single neshama. Then you can have Shei Shanim Yaveh. Then the Jew can work 6 days. What do you mean, Yavait?
6 years.
I'm sorry, you're right, 6 years. Well, it refers to 6 days, 6 years, 6. Okay. As he says, what's the difference? There's a difference between, as the pasuk says, V'shaftem Isam bein Eved Elakim Lasheloi Avodah, between one who serves Hashem, one who doesn't serve Hashem. And he says, Agam Shu Tzaddik, you can have a Tzaddik who serves Hashem, but he's called not serving Hashem. Like he says, Hove Betanya Perak Tezvav. Why? Because Al Rebbe explains in the 15th parak of Tanya, you could be a perfect Jew, Mamish and Tzaddik. But if it's only naturally you're doing this, you're not breaking your nature, you're learning 1,000 hours a day, but that's your nature, so then you're called not serving Hashem. Because limited cannot reach the infinite. The only way finite can reach infinite is by going out of our limitation. So even that itself is limited. If you learn an hour a day, now you learn an hour and a half a day, you're still limited. But respectful to what your level is, you broke your nature.
The bar keeps rising and it exhibits a challenge.
Yes, 100%. And you know when the bar finishes? After 120 years, when they put you in the ground, no, then the Avodah down here finishes. Then it's a different Avodah, not to doing Torah mitzvahs.
Rabbi, it can be very challenging and frustrating for the pious.
Not frustrating, challenging.
So like a never-ending.
Challenges are not supposed to be frustrating.
Removing the bar on you, that's very...
What, you know what? If a brilliant 8-year-old kid, yeah, stays that same brilliance in college, something's wrong. He was brilliant in 8th grade, but now he's a year older, he's supposed to be better, more. That's what the Rebbe constantly, the Rebbe was against retirement, the Rebbe was against, because the Rebbe said you have to keep doing more. Why are you doing less? If you climb a steep mountain, a very steep mountain, and you stop, what happens? You fall down. Status quo makes you fall. The only way of not falling is by going higher. And that's the whole thing of life, by the way. From the minute you're born, 120 years later until you go,
Sucking air uphill.
it's all going uphill, uphill, up, and it's a constant battle. And you know, when you get higher up, it's harder climb.
Yeah.
Okay, but what does a mountain climber do? He looks forward to the challenge. The problem is the mountain climber eventually gets to the top, he says, got it. And by us, we get to the top when they put you in a box.
No, you see more higher. Ever.
That's exactly what we're saying.
When a border is higher than Kone, how come in Shonestim we say Kone? If border is higher than Kone, you should say Bora.
But Kaina in certain respect refers to Atzilus, and this refers to
Bria.
Bria.
You can relate more to
Okay, so he says, "V'inyan dihine ksiv yamim yitzaru." It says in the pasuk, "Yamim yitzaru." Hashem formed days for a person. V'loy echad b'hem, either aleph or v'loy with a vav. But the bottom line is, the avodah of a Jew is like this: Yamim yitzaru. Hashem gave every person an amount of time, 120 years. But what's the avodah of the Jew? V'loy. What's the avodah with a vav? What's the avodah of the Jew? Echad b'hem, to bring down Hashem echad in the 120 years. That's the avodah of the Jew. Like it says, Avram zakim ba bayamim. It says in the pasuk when Avram started looking for a shidduch for Yitzchak, yeah. So it says Avram zakim ba bayamim. Avram was old, coming in days. So the Zohar asks, it's redundant. If it's old, it's coming in days. So the Zohar says, no, it's not. Avram Zakim means Itaka became older. Ba Bayamim means every day of his life was a complete day. Ba Bayamim, his days were complete. Yamim in Vahainu Yamim men levushim anas in the sham. What does Yamim mean? Ba Bayamim. Yamim refers to the garments the neshama creates from Torah mitzvahs b'chol yom dafka that it did every single day. And if one day, let's say you don't put on tefillin, then chasr levushi, you're missing a garment. If somebody, God forbid, doesn't do a mitzvah one day that they're supposed to be doing, that mitzvah is gone. You're missing it. Avram Zakim Baba, or not on the mitzvah. If today I could have accomplished more than I did, that more accomplishment will never exist. Because tomorrow I have tomorrow to accomplish. V'hainu shalavu shemelu these garments hem kedei shetuch al haneshama liyanis miziv hashchina. They have benefit from the Shechina. Ulishtabah b'guf for the malchut to hug the body of the king. Shezel ha'idei levush. How do we have the ability to hug Hashem? Spirit means so to speak. Ha'idei levush elu hanasim Torah mitzvahs. Through the garments which is done through Torah mitzvahs sheshor shemeid naila, which is very lofty from the level of Gufa, the Malka Mamish, the body of the king, Raksha Yardul is Levushim. Okay? Raksha Yardul is Levushim. These levels, the mitzvahs, the great. Right. Next page. Therefore, mitzvahs have to be done only under the jurisdiction of time and place. You can't do mitzvahs in Gan Eden. Okay? It's too late. You need a body, you need time and place. Every mitzvah is connected to time and place. Because levush and the mitzvahs come from a level of godliness, which is above time. To come into the duration of time, the neshama can understand it. What the Meshenkim, Bebekmeshem, Beshayr, way the mitzvahs are in the source, and the neshama can't understand it. Meaning like this. Why does a mitzvah dafka in time and place? Because what Hashem wants in the creation of the world is to bring down the highest level of godliness, dira, b'tachteinim, in the low world. So in order for a Jew to bring down the higher level of Elokus, higher than world, can only be through Torah mitzvahs in this world. That's why in Gan Eden you can't do any more mitzvahs, too late. So he says, what is the content of mitzvahs? You bring down Elokus in a way that the neshama down here can understand it. But what actually are you bringing down? The level of Elokus, which is higher than the world. Torah mitzvahs. Torah, learning Torah, you internalize, you understand it. Mitzvahs you don't understand. It's more like a superficial garment. So mitzvahs in the Zohar are called, mitzvahs are called garments. And therefore that's the whole inyan of only through mitzvahs can you hug the king, dafka when it comes into the definition of time and place. Because only then, in the source, you can't understand it. Avo, he says, the way it is in the source, and definitely you can't understand without the garment, you can't get the ray. It's like looking at a powerful sun without a blockage. You're going to get blind. So you need a garment like sunglasses, whatever, those things, to be able to look at the sun, otherwise it's too great. Then you can understand the level of Elokus. And you can grasp godliness. Otherwise you can't do it.
Torah mitzvah is garment and face, yeah?
What?
Torah mitzvah are power to